So in this lecture we are seeing a very important analysis process, that is thermogravimetric analysis, that is denoted as TGA. Okay, what is it? In TGA we are taking a sample and it is heated in an environment. This environment may be of air, it may be of CO2, or it may be of N2. This N2 atmosphere is called the inert atmosphere, okay, and this may be of helium or argon, etc. Okay, these three are the inert atmospheres, okay, and this is called the dynamic atmosphere. So we are heating the sample at a controlled rate under this environment. So what will happen when we are heating the sample? So there will be a change in its weight. In most of the cases there is a loss of the weight, but sometimes we see there is a weight gain. So by change of the temperature there is a loss of weight, or sometimes there may be a gain of weight, okay. This is in some cases, okay. In most of the cases there is the loss of weight, and this loss of the weight may be due to dehydration. Whenever there is the water of hydration present, then when we are heating the sample, this water of hydration will get evaporate. So this process is called dehydration. Or in some cases there may be loss of CO2 or other gases, CO, CO2, etc., or there may be decomposition or some other processes may take place, okay. So by each process there is a loss of weight. So we are gradually increasing the temperature with respect to the time, okay. It means we have to increase the temperature at a constant rate as a function of the time. And now this change in the temperature is plotted as a against the change of the mass. Then we are getting a curve. This curve is called the thermogravimetric curve, or this is also known as thermogram. So see here, in general way what it will look like, it will look like this. At the y-axis we are plotting the change of the mass, okay, and at the x-axis the temperature is plotted in this manner, okay. So we are getting a thermogram in this manner. Now what it will indicate? See here, this line, this horizontal line shows there is a no change in the mass with the temperature, okay, and at this point there is a loss of the weight, okay. Then this point shows there is no change in the mass, and then there is a loss of the mass. Then this point shows there is no change in mass, and then this is the loss of the weight, okay. In this way this whole thermogram we will see. Suppose we are taking a thermogram of CaC2O4 4H2O. This is our sample, okay, and we are making its thermogram. So what will happen? We are heating the sample, okay. So at the first moment, this is suppose the sample, okay, then what will happen? Suppose this is the temperature of 100 degrees centigrade. This is the 100 degrees centigrade temperature. Then what will happen? This water will remove. It means this reaction will happen. It will lose this, and we are getting CaC2O4 plus 4H2O, okay, at 100 degrees centigrade. Now when we are again increasing the temperature, then there is no change in the weight, okay, and at the 400 degrees centigrade, when the temperature is reaching to the 400 degrees centigrade, then there is a sudden loss of the weight. Why this is happening? This is due to this reaction. CaC2O4 then is again losing the carbon monoxide, and we are getting CaCO3 plus carbon monoxide, okay. So there is a loss of the weight. Again there is no loss of the weight, okay, and at 680 degrees centigrade. There will be again loss of the weight in this manner, right? So this will be due to the decomposition of calcium carbonate. So we are getting CaCO plus CO2. So in this way we are getting a thermogram. You can see the temperature range in the books. I am giving only you for the explanation. Okay. Okay, now we are seeing a little bit of the instrumentation, very little bit. Okay, so what is the instrumentation? The first thing is the recording balance. Here we need a change in the mass. Okay, so we have to record it, and for this we need a recording balance, right? Another thing is the sample holder in which the sample is put. Okay, so the sample is placed in a sample holder, and that is generally made up of, either it is made up of platinum or aluminium, or it may be made up of quartz, okay, or alumina. The third thing is the furnace that is needed for heating the sample. So what is the quality of it? The furnace should give a linear heating range, okay. And the fourth one is the furnace temperature programmer that is needed for controlling the rate of the temperature change of the furnace, okay. By this we can control the temperature of this furnace, right? And the last one is the recorder. The recorder we need for recording all the things. So the output of the microbalance and the furnace are recorded generally by a chart recorder, okay. So this is all about the instrumentation that we should know, okay, because not very much is asked about the instrumentation, okay. Okay, now we have to see a little bit about the factors affecting the TGA curve. There are two types of factors. One are the instrumental factors and the second one are the sample factors, okay, sample characteristics. So firstly see the instrumental factors. First is the furnace heating rate, okay. The temperature at which the sample decomposes depends upon the heating rate. So if higher is the heating rate, higher will be the temperature at which decomposition takes place. So you should remember this point, okay, because this is a very important point and at which you will see several questions asked in the CSIR net as well in the GATE exam. So you should know that the heating rate will depend, the decomposition temperature will depend upon the heating rate. Higher is the heating rate, higher will be the decomposition temperature at which the substance is being decomposed, okay. Another one thing is the furnace atmosphere. Furnace atmosphere means the gas which is pumped in the furnace, okay, to give it the atmosphere. And I have already told you that different types of gases like CO2, like helium, argon, N2, etc. or air may be filled near the furnace to give it a required atmosphere, okay. So when we need a inert atmosphere, then we use argon or nitrogen, okay. And when we have needed a dynamic atmosphere, it means when we are doing the oxidation or the combustion process. For such type of processes we need air as the atmosphere, okay. Then the air is pumped in the furnace, okay. So this will give a required atmosphere. Now one thing you should note, whenever we are taking the inert atmosphere, then there will be a little interaction between the sample, okay, and the atmosphere. So the heating rate will be lower and lower will be the decomposition temperature. But when we are taking the dynamic atmosphere of air, then there will be interaction between the sample and the atmosphere. So heating rate will be higher and decomposition temperature will also be higher, okay. This thing you should note here, okay. Now we comes to the second point, that is sample characteristic. First thing is the weight of the sample. We should take a little weight of the sample for the precious analysis, okay. And second thing is the particle size. So the particle size we know should be small and the uniform. Okay. Alright. Now we have to see some questions from the CSIR net as well as from the GATE exam, so that we can know which type of questions are asked based on the TGA. Okay, so see here, this question is from CSIR net June 2014 and the question is the use of dynamic inert atmosphere in TGA. Firstly, decreases decomposition temperature, second decreases weight loss, reduces rate of decomposition or increases the weight loss. Okay, I have already told you inert atmosphere means the atmosphere of nitrogen or helium or argon. These all gases will not interact with the sample. It means it will decrease the heating rate and it will decrease the decomposition temperature. So these gases are used for decreasing the decomposition temperature. Okay, it means this option number 1 is the right answer. Now see this question from June 2016. The decomposition temperature of calcium carbonate in TGA will be highest in dynamic atmosphere of, and we have given 4 options. One is nitrogen, second one is synthesis gas, third one is the 1:1 mixture of O2 and CO, and fourth one is the water gas. Okay, now we know that the decomposition temperature will be highest when there is more interaction between the sample and the atmosphere. Okay, so we need a dynamic atmosphere. It means where the interaction is maximum, and such type of interaction is possible only when we are taking the O2 and CO2 mixture, O2 and CO mixture, because this will interact very much. Okay, so the heating rate will be higher and decomposition temperature will also be highest. Okay, so this option number 3 is the right answer. Okay, now see a very interesting question from GATE 2019. On heating a sample of 25 milligram hydrated compound, molecular weight is 250 grams per mole in TGA. 16 milligrams of dehydrated compound remains. Okay, and we have to find out the number of water molecules lost per molecule of the hydrated compound. Okay, and we have given the molecular weight of water is 18 grams per mole. Okay, now what is the specialty of the GATE questions? We have given the different units. Okay, here this is in milligram and this is in gram, so we have to take a very attention to the units. Okay, so we will have to convert this milligrams to grams. Okay, now suppose we have given the compound is AbXH2O. Okay, this is our compound, right? And here these are the X moles of the H2O attached to it, right? And we have to find out this value of the X firstly, right? So see here, we have given this thing. Okay, and when we are heating it, what we are getting? We are getting this dehydrated molecule. Okay, and we are getting this XH2O molecules. Okay, and we have to find out the number of these water molecules, right? So firstly we have to find out the number of moles of this hydrated compound. And this is quite easy. Okay, what we have to do? Firstly, this is in milligrams, so divided by 1000. Okay, and then divided by molecular weight, 215 grams per mole, right? So what we are getting? This will be equal to 0.0001 moles. Okay, this is this, right? Now from this equation we can see that 1 mole of this hydrated compound is giving 1 mole of this dehydrated compound and X moles of this H2O, right? It means if we have this 0.0001 moles of AbXH2O or hydrated compound, then it will give us 0.0001 moles of dehydrated compound, right? So we can find out its weight. We have given weight of dehydrated compound at what is the weight of the dehydrated compound? We have given this is in 16 milligrams. Okay, so now what we have to do? We can write here 16 divided by 1000 into 1 divided by its molecular weight. This will be equal to this one, right? So from this we can find out the molecular weight. Of dehydrated compound. We can find it, right? So this will be equal to 116 grams per mole, right? Now we know the weight of the molecular weight of the hydrated compound is 250 grams per mole and the molecular weight of dehydrated compound is 160 grams per mole. This difference 250 minus 160, this will be the weight of water and this is 90 grams. This is the weight of water that is lost actually. Okay. Now we can convert it into molecules. We know what is the trick for it. If we have to find out the number of molecules, then what we have to do? Just divide this 90 grams by its molecular weight. Okay. So what we are getting? 5. So this is our answer. It means 5 molecules of the water has been lost. So in this way, this type of tricky questions you have to do, okay? But in most of the cases, very simple and short questions on the TGA are asked, okay? So meets you in the another video and we will see some more processes of the thermal analysis like TSC and DTA, okay? Thank you.